for Nigerians. Expatriate coming to Nigeria for a business and all. Also, to streamline the short stay and extend it has now been extended. You can have a short stay over almost 3 to 6 months now, and before it's just only 3 months unless you do extension. And also everything have been reviewed and tried to to reform the system in the essence that it's going to it's going to be seamless for people, including the compliance part also that it will be able to monitor. To be monitored by the by the ministry, and to ensure there is strict compliance process from every country to understand the way how they are operating or they are using quota in Nigeria and all. So most of these are part of things that have been included in this new regime, including the insurance for expatriates, you know, and to centralize every visa approval now. So, like before, in the visa process before, it's something that you can go to embassy at your home country, to apply. But now everything, all the approval is now going to be given from Abuja headquarters here. So everything has been, centralized to a process that is only the comptroller general that can approve any visa, even if you apply at the embassy. And so now everything is now online that you can get the approval straight from Abuja. So on the quota also, to mention that, to make sure that is well monitored, and and the expatriate to be well monitored also in Nigeria when they come by introducing landing and exit permits that they must fill to just so the ministry, the officers can monitor their. And once we are overstayed in this process now, in this new regime, from this month of August 1st, it has the sanction has been, have been implemented. If you overstay, is 15 dollar per day of your overstay that they're going to calculate for. And if you overstay more than 3 to 6 months, it's going to cause a ban for anybody that. So the new visa regime, I think, is well structured and is kind of okay, but it's just that we have some challenges that have been coming up towards this. But I believe after this test run and everything, so the ministry will know where to to come in, because it's has really been causing issues for expatriate coming into Nigeria, especially for business and all. So or for assignment, official assignment, and so I believe we are going to get this new regime. We are going to get it right, long run.
Um,
So thank you.
Mr. Dayo, can you give us your own perspective?
Yeah, Shola has done a fairly good job, I must say. I'll start by saying immigration is something that is very vital to the economy of any country. So every day we all watch, most of us, I'm sure, tune in to CNN or via Twitter or via different social media platforms. You will see someone like Donald Trump is always having something to say around immigration. In the UK as well, policies are rolled out every other day, every other week. So for the first time, as someone that's been practicing for about 15 years, I'm quite excited that we now have a very vibrant Minister of Interior that, in my opinion, has gotten some things right and has missed some things, but he's never afraid to make a U-turn. So prior to this radical, I call it radical because it is the most holistic and most comprehensive reform that I think we have experienced in the last 25 to 30 years. The old format used to be clear. just three categories. You were either on a short-term work visa, a visa on arrival, or an ECOWAS card for nationals of ECOWAS countries, and then the SEPAC for long-term work permits. In the past as well, whenever we engage with our clients, they will tell us, oh, we have some entertainers that want to come to Nigeria for a concert. Or we have someone that wants to do an internship coming from another country. Or we have someone that wants to do an academic exchange. And we had a struggle to determine where they will fit into. It was a struggle for us. We look, think, is that work? But it's not work, it's study. Is this entertainment? Okay, they are making money from it. Okay, let's advise them to get a temporary work permit. Oh, but it's just 5 days. Or can it be on a visa on arrival? As we are dealing with that, PEBEC, Presidential Enabling Business Economic Council, is saying their own. So it is very good news for us, the practitioners, that now we have answers. And I believe even IXA members now should be aware that we now have up to 14 visa categories for e-visas. In the past, it used to be visas on arrival, but now we have 14. For people for transit visa, for tourism, we didn't have that before. So I recall some years ago, some people from Harvard, about 100 of them wanted to come in for tourism. And we had to start checking, hey, which category would they fit into? Because we did not have a tourist visa. Sports visa, for instance, we are coming to play some games in Nigeria, we are coming to this. Is it work? Is it visa on arrival? But now we have clarity.
Okay.
So that is something that we are very, very excited about, and something that I think everybody should be aware of. For the miss part of things, I think the EEL, there was an expatriate employment levy that the minister brought up a while back. And I recall, I think we must have written close to 15 letters, bombarded his essay, bombarded his office, pushing back on the adverse effects of that policy on the economy, on businesses that would have had to be paying $10,000 per expat. So you can imagine if you had 20 expats. For us, our position was there are more creative ways for you to generate revenue. Do not squeeze these businesses that if they have to pay almost $200,000, for instance, they may want to let some Nigerians go. So it is about us striking a balance. And like I said, the minister is someone that is always happy to reverse himself. They stopped that policy, and they came up with this ingenious, I call it ingenious policy. Although it has its teething challenges currently, but in my opinion, we have made progress tremendously because now everything is digitized. They have tried very hard to remove the middleman. So you don't have to be running around, you have to know someone. You have your documentation, there's clarity around the documentation. It's not that you want to submit it and say, oh, go and bring this document, go and bring this additional document. It's all set out clearly. So that is something I think I'm also very happy with. It was well planned. The transition was well planned. There was an amnesty period for those that had overstayed visas or their setbacks. There was an amnesty period for you to regularize and be on the right side of law and be compliant as well. So those are things that new introductions that I'm happy with. Landing card, which my good friend Shola has also spoken about. The landing card is very good because whenever you are traveling to some countries, in the plane, they would have been giving you cards to fill. You are coming from here, you are doing this, and all of that. Now we have something that is digitalized. You can use for tracking purposes, for national security purposes as well. There's a database. You can monitor the movement of expats when they came in or when they did not. It's not about 30 days. It's clear, it's digitized, and we know when you came in, we know when you exited. So that in itself is also an improvement on the old regime. Then we should also, another major point I think I also like, of course, we know what has been going on with the Sahel region, where Burkina Faso and the likes with the ECOWAS region have had issues with democratic nations in the ECOWAS region, and even pulled out of ECOWAS. So when we talk about the ECOWAS process now for ECOWAS nationals, typically in the past, you could come in and spend up to 90 days in Nigeria to look for work, to do all of that, to scout around, maybe attend interviews, maybe for tourism purposes as well. You do not need a visa. Now, they have added, they are not just, they now recognize some countries that also border nations with Nigeria, likes of Chad and Cameroon, now fall under the ECOWAS card process, which I think is also very good, because if anybody has dealt with embassies, Nigerian embassies in Cameroon, it can be quite difficult to, and one of the issues we have across Africa is you want to go to London, sometimes the tickets might be cheaper than you wanting to fly to Abidjan. Or trying to connect across Africa is problematic. Visas and all of that. So it's also welcome news that I think would also improve trade, regional trade as well. There's a new ECOWAS card system as well, all digitized. Proper record keeping, all digitized. And for the STR SEPAC, before you, like Shola said, you have to walk into the bank to try to buy SEPACs and all of that. But for now, you get your, what we call a subject to regularization process. So let me just take, I think I want to start. Sorry, I like to teach in a way sometimes, so permit me. We have what we call the expatriate quota, which is the first step for long-term work authorization. Now it's digitized. You apply for your expatriate quota online, it's been granted. Side by side, when you have foreign directors on your board, you also have to apply for what we call a business permit. So once you have those two, that's the foundation. That's the first step. Now we proceed to the STR. Now digitized. In the past, files will have to be moving around the ministry. Sorry, let me speak here. Atiba approval, you know, go and pay. All that is gone. After that, you now have to compile documents that your expatriates, you either send to your expatriates in whatever country he is, or if the expert is here and is probably traveling back, you hand over to the expert. Another issue will be, we got into the embassy, they said this, go and bring additional documents, go and do this, go and do that, go and photocopy. Especially, I won't mention, don't let me mention too many embassies, I'll just mention one, UK embassy for Nigerian embassy in the UK, for instance, blah, 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 letter, this, that, the stress, all gone. Now, upload your documents, do all of that, get your STR, and now you can even pay for your SEPAC online, get your SEPAC online, and your card will be dispatched to you. To an extent, what makes me happy about all of that is that is what the experience is like in advanced countries. In the UK, you want to get your residence card, they send it to you, they post it to you. So there's significant improvement. We are happy about. I mean, it's a thin line. We sometimes don't like change, but we are also adaptable, especially when it is good change. You just have to adapt and pray for. We all want progress. We all want success. We are in a digital age. We all have to do all we can. Even with the pains now currently, what we are doing is continuous updates to our clients, to businesses. Hey, day one, don't worry. This is what is happening. Oh, send a screenshot. We can't do this yet. We can't do yes. We know you are not happy. We know it's an inconvenience. But we have to bear with them. It's a new system. And with every new system, it can only keep getting better. It can only keep improving. And so it's commendable. It's commendable. Quite a number of new introductions as well. We have investor visa. Interestingly, we wrote a memo to the minister around that as well, about how you can generate revenue without having to squeeze companies. There are some people that have been in Nigeria for 40 years. They are probably more Nigerian than most of us. And they never want to leave. They want to be buried there. They never want to leave. Those kind of people introduce visa categories like permanent residents, which we now have, although we have the details is being worked out in terms of the rollouts. I hope and pray they reach out to us, because I think we can help them design the policy. But that's by the way. Those are innovations that I think will not just help the economy, but even keep families together. Spousal visas now have been introduced. Citizenship process is also citizenship by investment. I hope with the constitutional amendments can also be introduced into the constitution. We have people that are ready to pay $1 million. See the golden visa that Donald Trump is putting in place in America. They are ready to pay $1 million to get Nigerian citizenship. Once they clear their security checks, we have Nigerians paying for passports in Grenada. We have them paying for St. Lucia, for all the Caribbean countries. So why also can't we create a pathway for that purpose as well, so long as they pass the security checks? So these are all items that have been captured in this new policy that is progressive, that is exciting, that makes accountability more visible. So I think those are the few thoughts I have, so that I don't keep going and going. Like I said, I like to teach, if I can see that way.
Thank you, Mr. Dayo, for your insightful and thought-provoking response to our questions. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we
can.
Hello?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we are hearing you. We are hearing you. We are hearing you.
Okay, thanks. Flowing from the overview, I would like to
Did we lose the moderator? Sadai, can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I don't know.
Abby, I mean.
Okay, maybe I should just pick it up from where. Maybe I should pick it up from where he left off. Mr. Dayo, I want to believe that you're well equipped to give us the different key requirements and challenges in obtaining and managing this issue of expatriate quota, and what potential pitfalls companies really face.
Okay, so for companies, I think it builds on depending. In some companies, it's the HR department that oversees expatriates related concerns. In some companies, it's the legal department. But there must be an expatriate policy in place. I always say it has to be someone that is familiar with the processes, the procedures, that attends trainings of this nature, that attends stakeholders meetings with the Nigerian Immigration Service and even the FMI as well. That must follow their handles to be aware of all that keeps emanating policy-wise For instance, there was an alert around Nigerians traveling to the US sometime this week from the NIS website. And the person must also have a checklist of documents that is clear, that is required for the EQ application. The CAC documents of the company, feasibility studies of for an initial grant of the expatriate quota. And where the case, as the case may be, if it's a foreign company, like I said, you must also simultaneously apply for a business permit, because you can't conduct business in Nigeria as a foreign company if you do not have a business permit as well. So side by side, you make that joint application online now. They review. If there's any query, they come back to you. You address the query. It might be documentation, it might be rejection, it might be whatever. You address it, you go back, you submit. Once they approve, you get a notification, you pay the fees, and on the dashboard, because every company now has to have a dashboard, once there is an approval, you get a notification, and it's there online. It can be printed out. All your records, all your company records are also digitized already and can be accessed on that dashboard as well. Another very important point to note is that now there's an introduction of, similar to Canada, where there is ICRC licenses, immigration practitioners there. There's now something called the NCIA, the Nigeria Certified Immigration Agents. So the mandates for those agents, the mandates essentially, they want to enhance process integrity. So you have to apply now. So even in terms of getting providers, if for instance, businesses or companies outsource, you need to ensure, although this is captured, the process is ongoing, but we may not currently see so many companies that are already licensed that have this NCIA certification currently. But I'm sure by the end of the year, as we settle into this new system, we'll have that. So there's a framework now, is to protect applicants, data protection related concerns. They are professionalizing visa application in line with best global practice. They are strengthening compliance and regulating application volume as well. So this in itself, you can't go through those rigorous checks as a provider and not be able to have a very good standard of service. So it's also very important for everybody on this call to be aware that there's something now called the Nigeria Certified Immigration Agents that are responsible for interfacing with the FMI for regulatory approvals like the expatriate quota and the business permits. I'll stop there.
Thank you very much. Is Mr. Shola still on this call? I don't know if he wants to add something to that. Okay, because I know he was saying that he had a flight to catch, so I don't know if he stepped out. I will just continue with him and see if he could still join us. Could you help us understand these expectations and pitfalls for governance professionals? I heard you talk about the HR department. I heard you talk about the legal professionals. I heard you talk about all of these professionals who at one point in time are given that responsibility to navigate the issues of employment for expatriates coming into their organization. So I don't know if there are some pitfalls that are recognizable either from the regulatory arm or from us as professionals that we do not pay attention to.
Okay, so I'll take that question from the point of, I already mentioned checklist. Have your checklist. Have your flow chart for each process. For instance, for temporary work permits, know all the documents you need. have a flow chart so that, HR, the first step, HR reaches out to, call it assignee sometimes, or the expert, and request these documents. You have it in place. Next step, if you are filing yourself, go ahead with the filing. If not, send the documents to your NCIA agent to ensure the filing in good time. One of the issues that we experience a lot as providers is that, for instance, maybe there's a particular company that you've been working for and for multiple years, and you are surprised that for every single time they want to apply for a visa category, they are still coming back to you to ask for what documents. And you're like, I'm sure I tell you so that I can go back to the expert and ask. You should have a checklist by now. So a checklist is very fundamental. You have to keep a checklist. After that checklist, it helps you with all the processes. And with that, there's even continuity. If for any reason someone leaves the employment or that extent, the department can continue with that checklist. It's there. There's a process already. So checklist is very important. So you've gotten your approvals. Another fundamental thing is tracking. So even if it's your Google Calendar, it's your whatever, okay, they've issued it today, they've issued the SEPAC August 8th. You know it's going to expire August 8th next year. 3 months before then, or 2 months, you should start compiling the documents for renewal. You do not wait until expiry or after expiry to start saying you want to renew. That way, putting pressure on even the providers. For instance, for you to get a visa on arrival, an e-visa, you need 48 to 72 hours. Please be aware of that. Don't now send an email or say, oh, I'm coming tomorrow. Don't worry, we'll do it. The network can be down, which is something that happens a lot. So you have to have that timeline that is clear. Oh, for e-visas, we need 72 hours. Typically within 48 hours it will be out. But that way you've added one more day for any technical difficulty that you might encounter or any challenge that you might encounter. So very important that you also have clarity around timelines. EQ, it could take 4, 5, 8 weeks, depending if it's a renewal, if it's an additional position, or if it's a grant. Let your timelines be clear, and also add an additional window period for any systemic challenge that may arise. Compliance is also very key. Ensure that your landing cards, your exit cards, ensure that you have a checklist where, okay, you are traveling, you've come in, bam, you check it. This person has landed, check. Compliance, ensure you file your monthly returns. If, for instance, your company is in Lagos, in the past, you have to file manually. And I know they're also digitizing that. But ensure that for every point where you have to file, you file. FMI has a platform, ensure you are filing there as well. And there are templates, I'm sure, for those that have dealt with it. There's a form B1, B2, B3, and all of that. Make sure that the forms are in a good order, they are well arranged, and the expatriate quota is at the back, and submit. So compliance is very key. That monthly returns is very vital, because when you want to apply for a renewal or for an additional position, the monthly returns tells the story of utilization of the expatriate quota. It tells you, even for tax purposes, when you want to interface with tax authorities for an expert and you want to pay their taxes, they will always ask for the monthly returns, because residency is the basis of taxes. And that is confirmation of residency, besides them having their SEPA card. So I think I'll focus on those 4 points. And with those 4 points, I think largely there won't be any gaps to worry about.
Please, is the moderator on? So is it
Yes,
back?
I'm back. Thank you very much for standing in. Thank you very much, Mr. Dayo. One final question, sir. Can you kindly share practical insights on how to navigate the current system challenges and actionable strategies to mitigate regulatory risk arising from expatriate compliance in Nigeria?
Okay, so current challenges. Let me speak to some of the challenges we faced. Our grandma. Can we mute? So, some of the challenges we faced with this new system is systemic downtime. So, you're applying for a visa category for terrorism, the system is down, and you can't go through the process from A to Z. So, that's a major challenge. And I'll come to how we manage to. So, in such scenarios, there is a helpline. There are email addresses that you can contact. I know my team, they can call you from morning till night and kill your phone. So it's something that can be explored. Call the helpline, keep calling, keep following up to know clearly. Because your clients want to know, your bosses in the companies will want to know. Keep calling the helpline. And they'll give you feedback on, oh, sorry, it's down for this. We are working on it. You'll be back up this evening. It should be this evening. That way you have a predictable timeline that you can work with. So another challenge we've been facing is you apply for a quota for a particular company, let's say X company, and then they tell you that it's been approved, and you go and look at the dashboard and you see that it's the expatriate quota of another company that is showing here, and with positions that you didn't request for. So it becomes confusing as to what's going on. You now have to escalate. Please take it down. Please this. Those are challenges that we've also experienced. With business permits as well, we've experienced that. Then there are some categories of visas that they've set out here that they've introduced that are currently not operational on the website. So that's another major teaching challenge that we are facing. You also have to manage expectations of your superiors, of the experts, of even for those that may be practitioners, or even the clients as well, in terms of letting them know that we have just migrated to a new system. Where possible, if you have a group on WhatsApp or an email chain of the experts or whatever, they keep sending them alerts, news. I mean, they even have a community by themselves, so they always know what is not going on anyways. But it's important that they know about these teaching challenges, and they know that we have taken steps to escalate to find possible solutions to those challenges. But most times it has been systemic or operational. And as with any new system, I believe look at the passport situation that we used to have in the past. It took a while, it took some pain, some effort, but with digitalization and all of that now, I'm not so sure anybody remembers those very tough days anymore. So we should give it some time for them to smoothen the process. And I imagine that in a few months we won't remember these teaching challenges anymore.
Have we lost the moderator again?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so if we've lost the moderator, I don't know if we have questions in the room. If you have any question, please drop it in the chat box so we can harness all the opportunities we have listening to Mr. Dayo on this topic. Because I know that there are quite a number of troubling issues around this issue of migration. Yes, a lot of it. I've actually had people even talk about for certain, would I say, people who are married or women who are married to Nigerian men having such issues, even when they're trying to, if they work in Nigeria, but then the issue of their marital status does not even help to ease the process. So I don't know. I think I was listening to Arise News one day, and one of the newscasters was complaining about the challenges she had each time. For someone who works in Nigeria, complaining each time she has to even allow family members like her mom to come see her, invite them over. She would always have challenges. If she has to go out of the country and come back, so she would always have challenges. I want to believe that some of those things with this new regime, they would, ease off. I don't know what your recommendation or advice is around those areas, or what experiences you've had with people who find themselves in that category, and how, as a professional, one can advise them or help to solve some of their problem.
So, yeah, very valid concern. And I think you must have been speaking about Vimbai on Arise.
Yes, I was trying not to call the name.
Yeah, so there's something we call Niger Wives, which I believe she's on. Typically, Niger Wives used to be tied to your passport duration. So ideally, she shouldn't have any problems going in and out of Nigeria if she has the Niger Wives set back, which is also gratis. You don't pay for it. It's free of charge because you are married to a Nigerian. With respect to our parents or whoever coming in, I can understand and I can relate directly to that because at a point I went to pick my kids in school and they have a South African headmistress or something, and we just got talking and she said, "Oh, my parents, oh, let me set them up, you sort out your visas," and it was like magic to her when within 3-4 days we're able to sort out the visas, the this, the that, the guidance, and all of that. So I think information is also lacking in terms of how to go about these visas as well. So that's why programs like this, webinars like this, will help to put the word out, will help with sensitization. And I also encourage everybody to, like I said, follow the handles of these agencies and ministries, because whenever there are stakeholder engagements, you'll be called. Even when this new policy was being rolled out, NECA was involved, NASIMA was involved. There was a stakeholders meeting where the minister was going around different states to share more about that. Subscribe to Immigration Alerts. I'm not saying subscribe to ours, but subscribe to Immigration Alerts. That helps you follow the trends, helps you to know what is going on as well. With respect to that, so the good part about this new policy is that now it's not even going to be tied to your passport duration. It will be indefinite. Except, well, as a lawyer, you still think about it again. You're like, okay, is it to death to you part or to divorce, So those areas you still have to clear up as well. But now there's an indefinite category.
Okay, thank you for that clarity. There's a question from Edward Florence, and it says, please, my question is, for visa categories which are currently absent on the website, sorry, I didn't get that. What will the application process be like?
So for those that are currently absent, the truth is you have to fit that scenario into the categories that are currently obtainable. So you have to tailor the application to fit into the categories that are obtainable. If, for instance, the person is coming for some form of internship or this or that, you can't access this, you can't, then go for an e-visa. It's the closest to. That is the solution I would prefer to anybody. So you have to tailor it to closest applicable visa, where the ideal visa categories don't function.
Okay, thank you. There's another question from Iboro Kamakai. Can this checklist for SEPAC and visa be found on the NIS platform?
You can develop it from the information there. So you can develop that checklist from the information on the website.
I'm sure you don't want to share. I'm sure you don't want to share your checklist.
It's not about not sharing.
Your strategy.
No. So honestly, I can share what we have with you. There is nothing. Knowledge is to be shared. That's my orientation. So I'm happy to share what we have with you and the Ikes and everyone. You can then share with the team. But you also have to be mindful of the peculiarity of each business, each companies. So where you don't go and need a business permit, don't go and apply for business permits if you are local directors. So don't say, it was on the checklist. So I'm putting that caveat there. No be me. So yeah, I'm happy.
Okay, there's another question. Okay, thank you. There's another question from Yewande Ojo. It says, where, let me see, sorry, there's too many. When an expatriate has left the country with his SEPA card without notifying the employer, and he has indicated his interest not to return, what does the company do in such circumstance, and what is the implication for that company?
Please go and delete that expatriate from your portal. You have to file an application for deregistration. I'll send my bill to Isa.
Pardon us for today. That's the essence of the discussion.
I was kidding. So you have to file an application for deregistration. Deregistration is, I would imagine the company provided the flight itinerary. You have to do an affidavit to say he has left. Then file the application with an application letter to the NIS, and they register with a copy of the SEPAC. They will deregister the person from occupying that quota position.
Okay. Another question from Oluwadara Durodola. My question borders on login. After signing in on the eSEPAC portal, I recently signed up on the eSEPAC portal, but I've been unable to log in since completing the registration. Each attempt results in a failure, and there is no guide for further action. I have contacted the helpline, but unfortunately, the issue remains unresolved.
Systemic, still try to keep calling, still escalate via emails, and keep monitoring the system as well. That would be my advice.
Okay. Another from Mark Duke. With the introduction of the e-visa process, how possible is it to complete the application without involving middlemen? Also, what steps can be taken to eliminate the role in order to avoid delays in processing requests?
So, like I mentioned earlier, that ensure that you have clear 72 hours. Clear 72 hours meaning you have all the documents 72 hours even before making the application. So once you have that, like these issues around the system and all of that, you've created one for it. Typically within 36 hours, you will get the e-visa. You people just want to spoil business for us. In terms of the middleman, yes, the whole digitization process can definitely remove the middleman, but at your own risk.
And you can't take away the experience.
The experience as well. So yes.
Yes. So there's another question from Latifat Obitayo. It says, right now the SCR visa for new incoming expatriates has been cancelled. Please, what is the replacement for the visa category?
Hi Latifat, I'm greeting you. Send me an email after. You know now. I know you've spoken with someone in the office today, so I'm sure you are surprised I'm spotlighting you. So whatever she told you is what is obtainable.
Okay, it appears you don't answer that. Okay, this is from Frances.
But let me answer it. It's still the patients
Okay.
and the steps. We are all facing the same challenges. We are all bombarding them. We are all um, reaching out to them, calling them, disturbing them, and they keep telling us they are working around it. They are working around it. We know they will get it right very soon.
Okay, another from Frances Owanali. Hope I didn't murder that name. What's the best time to apply for renewal? Before or after the expiration of the visa?
Is before. So even a month, 2 months before, like I said, have a calendar that will notify you a few weeks before, start gathering all the documents, and ensure that at least a month before. Because the good thing about the SEPAC is that it's the dates that matters. It's not about when you make the application. If, for instance, the SEPAC was issued August 8th this year and you decide to apply July next year, it starts counting from August 8th or 9th, as the case may be. So there's no downside to it, to making an early application. And most times, experts will say, oh, I'm traveling, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I won't be around. I won't. So you have to integrate that into your own plan as well.
Okay, from Toyosi Maurice Olushola, he says, with the innovation of e-visa for an applicant in Nigeria, can the capturing be fine with the phone, or it still has to be a physical capturing?
So
maybe she's trying to say instead of going to the offices, one
it can be done.
The phone. Okay. Bolaji Gabari says, or is asking the question, is it compulsory for the online registration for companies to be done by companies themselves, or can the agents register on behalf of the companies?
I know we are registering for so many companies, so it's the choice of the business.
Okay. I think that ends the question. I think that's the last question. From the turnout from the questions, I believe that we've learned a lot from this session and everyone was listening keenly. I want to invite I can already see virtual claps and applause for you for giving us this giving us this exciting insights into this topic. And I think, yes, we need more of those virtual claps. Thank you. Keep them coming in. I want to call the VC, the Vice Chairman of Lagos State Chapter, to present the plaques and also give us 1 or 2 announcements. Mr. Bola Debola.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
All right.
I hope I'm audible enough.
Yes.
All right. Thank you to our speakers. First to Mr. Olushola Williams. We really enjoyed the session. And to my very, very good friend, Mr. Dayoadu, we really appreciate your teaching on this. Let me use that word. For teaching us, the immigration issues are things that always been advising clients, either as lawyers or even as a corporate administrator. So really enjoyed this session, and we are grateful for how far you've impacted us. So I'll go straight into the plaque presentation. So on behalf of ICSAN, Institute of Chartered Administrators of Nigeria, Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, Lagos, and Oyo State chapters, I have the privilege of presenting this plaque to you, Mr. Dayoadu, as our speaker today on employment and expatriate compliance, talking about key issues for governance professionals. We are grateful for the insights you shared and the fact that you made it practical for us. And on this occasion, we say thank you. And we know you are a friend of the house.
Yes.
So I think on that side, we'll try and bring you in closer. So thank you very much for this. We can please give.
Okay, I think today is not a very favorable day for the internet connectivity. I think we've lost the vice chairman there. So we have the plaque for Mr. Lushola Williams online, and we want to say thank you. Mr. Babatunde, are you still there? Okay, we have the plaque of Lushola Williams online. I want to say thank you for joining in. Unfortunately, he had to quickly step out. He had a flight to catch, duty called, and we did not have enough time to also share with his perspectives. But I'm very sure that for all of us who stayed on, we are confident, and I would say we are happy that we had Mr. Adudayadu here to give us all the insights and perspectives, particularly as professionals, that we needed to hear concerning this topic. We will also want to use this opportunity before calling on the chairman of the Oyo State branch Oyo State chapter to give a vote of thanks. But before then, we just want to employ everyone on this call that the Ixan Lagos State chapter has a wellness webinar tomorrow at noon. Going to discuss topics around our health. So it would be good to join in. If you check our social media handles or platforms, you would get the details, the registration details. And we have our governance week coming up towards the end of October, which is the 26th of October. And we have also the summit, which is on the 30th of October. We charge everyone to please follow us on our social media handles so we can get more information about the registration, and we hope to host you on that day. We also have that platform where we can all interact, network, and meet with thought leaders in our profession and our environment, our business environment. The topic is one we would be excited to be a part of in terms of either being as a participant, and we're also encouraging everyone to call in their colleagues to join us in all of those discussions. So we'll be calling on the Oyo State chapter chair, Mrs. Ayobami Uluokun ACIS, to give a vote of thanks.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I want to appreciate all participants that have joined this webinar. Specifically, I want to appreciate the chairman, the president of Ixan and chairman of council, Mrs. Uto Pana FCIS, for giving us this opportunity. And I want to appreciate all the governing council members that have joined this webinar. We appreciate you, and we pray that Ixan, our Ixan will continue to grow. On behalf of my sister, Ms. Fosa, the chairman of Lagos State chapter, I want to appreciate specifically our speakers, Mr. Dayo Adu and Mr. Olusola Williams, for sharing their expertise. The session has been so exciting. It has been so enlightening. And we pray that God will continue to endow and improve your wisdom. We appreciate sharing your insights and expertise, and even your time. You agreed to be with us, and particularly to Mr. Dayo. You took all the questions. You represented Mr. Shola very well. So we appreciate you, and we thank you for giving us your time and sharing your knowledge.
Thank you.
I must appreciate the moderator. He's one of us. and at least for trying his best in moderating the session very well. Though network is shutting him out. And on that note, I want to appreciate Efosa as well, my co-host, for combining the host and the moderator's responsibility. Thanks so much. And I pray that ICSAN will continue to grow under, leadership. On that note, I want to appreciate everyone. And I want to mention that the webinar does not end here. We have all gotten something to take away to help us in our different roles. And to remind us that this webinar carries, credit points for all of us that have participated. And it comes with a certificate of participation with the payment of 10,000. And so I want to urge us at least to give meanings to our participation. Let us endure to get the certificate to show that we have really participated on this webinar. So sensitive. Literate is not somebody that does not get certification, but somebody that has refused to learn, to unlearn, and to continue learning. So I want to enjoin that we should continue learning and seize opportunities of webinars like this nature to enhance our knowledge and our expertise in the field that we have chosen. So once again, I want to appreciate everyone. I must appreciate the National Secretariat of ICSAN for the Zoom link and for enabling us to have a streamless session. So we thank the registrar, Mr. Okuneye, and Julie, and every members of the Secretariat for supporting this. And we pray that our ICSAN will continue to grow. So once again, I want to appreciate everyone that's on board, and I wish us a fulfilling day. Thanks so much, everyone. God bless you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. You're welcome. Bye. Thank you.